Welcome everybody back to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast, the crypto podcast for the man's man and the women who love them. I'm your co-host, Bitboy. This is your other co-host, J Chains. What is going on, J Chains?
What is up? Happy day, man. How's your day?
My day's been pretty frustrating, man. We've been upgrading some equipment over here, upgrading some camera equipment for my videos, upgrading my audio equipment, and man, it's just sometimes setting that stuff up, man. Let me tell you what I did today. I went to Best Buy to get a micro, it's a mini USB cable. It plugs into the camera. Mm-hmm. Dude, you would have thought that it was a needle in a haystack in Best Buy. It's so hard in Best Buy to find anything now. I had 2 employees scouring the store looking for a very simple cord. It was crazy. I said, at Best Buy, you know what they need to do? They need a cord section. All cords in Best Buy are in the same section.
That would make sense.
Yeah, not in the computer section, some of the TV section, some of the music section. Like, it's crazy. So I've had a pretty frustrating day, honestly, but I'm ready to sit back and chat some crypto.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Yeah. A funny story about Best Buy. I used to, growing up back in the day, we didn't have MP3s or any of that. We had CDs, right? So you would go to Best Buy to get your CDs. That's where I went and got a lot of my CDs. And I don't know why I was just so deficient in this, but I would never write down the list of the CDs that I was going there to get. I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to get Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Red Hot Chili Peppers. And then as soon as I got into the store, I just had mind diarrhea. I just couldn't remember, what did I come here for? But it was always fun. You just spend a few hours and find your CDs.
I would always end up with a rap CD of someone who I'd never even heard of. That was my thing. I'd go in you know what? I think I want this CD. And then I couldn't find anything I like. I just pick a random one. So, so speaking of experiences, this weekend, I actually filmed a very cool video for my YouTube channel where we went and talked to people and asked them questions about, what they think about Bitcoin. Would they rather have Bitcoin or cash if the cash amount was lower than the Bitcoin amount? And it was a very interesting video. But one thing that came out of this video is there were a lot of misperceptions by people on Bitcoin. So that's what we're going to be talking about later in the show. So you guys make sure you stick around that. We're going to clear up some things that the general public thinks about Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about maybe how you guys as people and members of the crypto community can help educate people.
That's smart. That's what we need. We need more people to tell the people. That's how mass adoption will happen. We talked about that yesterday. It's that snowball effect. So. Oh, yeah.
Got to have that snowball effect for sure. So, but before we get into that, I want to talk about my beard, guys, because I don't know if you guys have noticed. If you're watching on video, you can see it. If you're listening on the podcast, then it's not looking good right now, guys.
You lost a lot of growth.
Lost a lot of hair, man. Lost a lot of hair. So, first of all, I got a little bone to pick with Amazon. I ordered some of that biotin that our boy Aaron D. Johnston from the Beard Club, the 2017 World Goatee Champion, told me I need to get to help thicken my beard out. Uh-huh. And it got lost in the mail 3 weeks ago. So I've been sitting waiting on that stuff to try to whatever. So in the meantime, I got some honest Amish beard oil. You know what I mean? Put it on the face. Trying to get that beard looking right. And so this week I was supposed to actually go up to New York and do a TV interview on Cheddar TV with, my agent from Coinbound, Ty. And it was going to be really cool. However, they rescheduled it. So now it's next week instead of this week. But I rushed to the barber. There's a nice barber here where I live. Everybody loves it. Raving reviews. I go and I sit down in the chair. I said, you know what? Let me get my hairs trimmed. So I had some hairs trimmed. The haircut.
Oh, yeah. That looks good.
Haircut looks pretty good. So I got the hairs trimmed, and I said, I want the beard trimmed. And I said, just square it off. Or I said, just line it up and even it out. That's what I said. Even it out.
Just even it out.
Just even it out, dude. That's it. Even it out. I don't want it cut shorter. All of a sudden, the guy gets done with my haircut, and he freaking grabs the clipper and just starts going ham on me.
No.
So the first now I'm sitting about 20 feet away from the mirror, so I can't even really see what my beard looks like. I feel it go, and I said, what? In my mind, I was frozen. I was like, what
just happened?
What just happened? What just happened to my beard? And I couldn't see in the mirror. I thought there was a chance he had totally shaved it off. And so the second pass, so he's pretty far down my face at this point, 2 passes with the clippers. I said, what are you doing? What are you doing to my beard? He said, I'm trimming it. I said, what card are you using? He said a 2.
Oh, no.
Like, man, not the 2.
Not the 2.
I will say this. The 2 is better than the 0. I think I told the story about me shaving my eyebrow one time off.
Yes.
Which is a very funny story.
We definitely got that one.
Yeah, we got that one. This felt similar, like, zoop, what are you doing? You know, so I got the beard trimmed down to a 2 on accident, but I'm just like, what kind of barber is this guy that just freaking grabs that, didn't ask me what I wanted? I said, even it out. I didn't say cut it. I didn't say trim it. I said, even it out. I like the length. But of course the wife likes it, you know, because the wife hates the beard. So,
wow. It looks good. I will tell you that. It just looks like it's, you know, short on the sides. You still got a little bit of length in your chin, which is good.
Yeah. It's always good to have length on your chin, you know.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's pretty good. Looks pretty good. What, Jay James?
No.
But yeah, so that was my story of the week. It was definitely pretty painful, but you want to talk about some man stuff too, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be if you live in Indianapolis, get ready because there's going to be 30,000 motorcyclists riding through downtown this weekend. Event, I believe it's called the Motorcycles on Meridian. Yeah, 30,000 motorcycles, 50,000 guests. It sounds like a nice motorcycle time. I wish I was in the Midwest. I would go. Actually, I'm going to Chicago this weekend. I forgot.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well,
I will not be in Indianapolis though.
I am going to Indianapolis one day in the next 50 weeks. I'm starting a 50-week, 50-city crypto adoption tour. We don't know what we're going to call it yet.
Nice. You're doing that with Mid-Earth Crypto?
Mid-Earth Crypto, my buddy Quinn. Yeah, so we are going to be doing that. But Indianapolis is one of the cities we're talking about. We might try to coordinate it with the Falcons-Colts game so I can go up to see the Falcons and the Colts at the same time. So it's in maybe about a month and a half. I think it's about 6 weeks from now.
Okay.
Something like that. But yeah, so what are they riding for? Just for fun?
Yeah, just adding chaos and motorcycles downtown. I think there's an Indianapolis Colts preseason game as well against the Bears. Oh man,
Bears.
Stop Bears. You know, I happen to be a Bears fan. Man, maybe I should rent a motorcycle, go to Chicago, leave there on a motorcycle, and go to Indy. It's only like 2 hours.
I went to Chicago for a Falcons-Bears game a couple years ago. We did the whole thing. It was so much fun, man. We went to the Braves, or it wasn't the Braves. It was the Cubs and Brewers game on the Friday night. Saturday was Georgia versus Notre Dame. So we went over to Notre Dame, got to see that campus. It was just incredible. And then on Sunday, we had the Falcons and the Bears game. And I will tell you, that stadium is very impressive. I was very impressed with the Bears stadium. It's so cool the way it opens out to the lake.
Right.
That's you don't see that. You don't see that when you're watching games on TV.
Yeah, no, I guess they don't really show that off too much. But I mean, they, growing up, it's, they didn't change it forever, and that stadium turned into a dump. And when they rebuilt it, I mean, they did a really nice job. There used to be an airfield right over by the aquarium. It was like Miggs Field. They turned that into a concert venue. So they really spruced up that whole area right around there, right around the stadium. It is nice.
Yeah, it's definitely really nice. So, but yeah, so let's talk crypto for a little bit, if that's cool. You want to talk crypto?
Yeah, let's talk about crypto. I think there was something you want to talk about the overstock thing, right?
Yeah. Let's talk about the overstock thing because it's very, very, very weird. So, if you guys don't know overstock,
fresh news,
very fresh, just happened a couple hours ago. If you don't know Patrick Byrne, he is the CEO, and I don't know if he's the founder, but he's definitely the CEO of Overstock.com. Well, he was. He also is a huge investor in Ravencoin. Overstock.com also has, a security token exchange, I believe it's opening, called T0, which is very popular in the institutional world of crypto. And he just resigned as the CEO of Overstock.com. You guys may not know this. Overstock.com was, aside from, I think Bitcoin.com was maybe the first, Roger Ver had the very first website that accepted Bitcoin a long time ago. It wasn't Bitcoin.com. It was actually some kind of memories and photos website. However, Overstock.com was the first major retailer to start accepting Bitcoin. It's been accepting Bitcoin for many, many, many years. And so the fact that Patrick Byrne, who was basically behind that whole charge to accept Bitcoin, is stepping down, this is really big news.
That's big news, yeah. And I think it just kind of came out of nowhere. Although you said something offline about there's some discussions about this Russian spy girlfriend of his.
So yeah, this is really sketchy, guys. This is a really weird story.
Before we get into that, don't you know somebody that bought a mattress in the
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
before the I think bought it before like maybe 2014, bought a mattress on Overstock with Bitcoin, and at the height of the rush, this thing was like a $400,000 mattress.
Yeah, it was a $400,000 mattress. That's what the amount of Bitcoin that he spent on the mattress in 2014 was worth in 2017. That is why it's going to be very hard to ever see Bitcoin actually being a true currency and not more like gold 2.0, in my opinion, because, that guy's kicking himself. He's not really, he's done well. You guys may know him, Jacob Canfield, founder of Signal Profits. He's got a huge YouTube channel and a big Twitter following. He's been on the show. He was on the show a couple weeks ago. Even though it was one of our more popular episodes in terms of downloads, I got to say, I don't know. It was the only one I did by myself, and J-Chain's been rubbing it in. The numbers on that episode were not great. So
I have to. Although, to the credit, I think the numbers were slightly skewed because, this was billed as an audio podcast. And with the charts and kind of, the video, that was maybe more of a video centric. So I know it did better on the video version.
You're so freaking humble. Okay, so freaking humble. Guys, we went down to this podcast conference last week. We got so much to talk about, but I got to throw this in. We went down to the podcast conference last week, and, we got a new, whole new setup now with what we're doing with the podcast. Really exciting stuff is going to be coming out for sure. We're definitely stepping up the professionalism of the podcast.
Yeah.
That's why I got the beard trimmed. But I was giving J-Chains a hard time about, all kinds of different stuff because that's just what we do. We give each other a hard time. Yeah, we're boys, So, he had somebody down there tell him right in front of me that he has an incredible radio voice. Incredible.
Well,
then we talked to another person, said the same thing. And I was starting to get a little pissed, what the heck? Don't I have a great radio voice as well? Bitboy and J-Chains. Welcome to the Beards and Bitcoins podcast. I can do it if I got to. You know what I'm saying?
That's what, if you're saying, I know what you're saying. That sounded pretty good, though.
You know what I'm saying? So I come home, right? I fly in on Friday. I come home. I swear to you guys, this is a true story. I've been story 3 times now. I walk in the door, and my wife, you guys may know her, Mama Wild Thing. She's been helping me write on the Bitboy Crypto website, doing a lot of good stuff. She walks inside, or I walk inside the door. Within 30 seconds of being home, she says, I want to tell you something. I said, what is it, hun? She said, I want you to know J-Chains has got such a great radio voice. I said, honey, where's them divorce papers? I'm signing them right now. Right now, son. So I'm single now, ladies. You guys know I'm totally kidding about the last part.
He's joking.
Yeah, we know. We made amends. We definitely made up. I was pretty upset with her for a few seconds anyway.
I just think that's so funny. I don't know why.
It's hilarious. I mean, it really is funny. So, I mean, you really know how to kick me when I'm down. I really got humbled pretty big time when we went down to the conference, but things are definitely going to be changing on the podcast. But let's get back to the story real quick. So here is the story with Patrick Byrne. He made some comments about helping the FBI in both the Clinton investigation and in the Russian, what do they call it? The Russian what?
The dossier?
Yeah, the dossier and all that stuff. What was the big conspiracy?
Collusion.
Russian collusion. He helped them with the Russian collusion case. And he said, basically he thought he was doing the right thing, but it turned out he was helping the deep state. And the term deep state is generally used by Sean Hannity and the pundits on the far right. I'm not making fun of them. I'm just, they use that term a lot. And they say that, there's this underlying underbelly of the government that we don't know that's really pulling the strings. And I think a lot of people would probably actually agree that that's a real thing, but absolutely, of course,
just like Epstein, yes. Broke his neck. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the cameras were conveniently malfunctioning. Yeah,
and the guards were told to, from what I understand, the guards were told to go home.
It's ridiculous. I mean, we all know there's more to that story. We don't know what it is, but there's more to that story. So, Patrick Byrne made some statements, and it turns out he's been helping the government in these investigations while he's also been dating a Russian spy.
Ouch.
What? Her name, what was her Maria Butina, I believe. And it just says Russian agent. So she might not technically be a spy. Maybe she works for the Russian government and she's just an agent. But I mean, I think we all know if somebody works for the Russian government, they're a spy, right? Obviously, here in America, if they're here, they're spying. There's no question about that. Have you guys seen The Americans, that TV show? It's a great show. It's about Russian agents in the 80s. Have you seen it, Jet Chains?
No. What's it on?
It was on FX. I had like 5 or 6 seasons. It was a really good show. It just ended, I think, maybe a year or two ago, maybe last year. But the point here is a really sketchy story. And I will say this about Patrick Byrne. I saw him speak at the Blockchain World Conference a couple years ago, or not a couple, about 14 months ago. And man, he's a very interesting character. Like, he was talking about like ancient like Chinese history and how it relates to crypto. And he was wearing like, it's not a kimono. Like, you know Jet Li in the Matrix movies, what he's wearing? It's like whatever the man version of a kimono is. I don't know what you call it.
I have no idea.
A manomo is what he was wearing.
Be careful.
A manoma. I don't even know what to call it. But, it's got the high button on the collar, So he was wearing one of those on stage, and I was like, already I knew, like, dude, you're just like standard white guy wearing a man kimono. Like, that's kind of weird, I mean, you got to admit it.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Like, dude, I don't want to hit him with that nerd alert, but I mean, he might. When I saw the way the dude was dressed, I definitely thought this was a strange character. So, yeah. It's just another person. Like, when you think about John McAfee, you think about, he's been on the show before, which is really cool, but he's obviously a very controversial person. Roger Ver, extremely controversial. There's a lot of super controversial people that are in crypto, and Patrick Byrne now has really become one of those. Like, that's a super sketchy story.
Yeah, really interesting. We'll see what happens with Overstock, and think they'll keep accepting crypto.
I think they're kind of all in at this point. I think it would be hard for them to step back, but that is a reverberating effect that could be from this. I mean, that could change. But who knows? Maybe that has something to do with it. I don't. It's hard to say. Usually, when someone steps down, it's not just like, oh yeah, I made some controversial comments, so I'm going to step down, which is what he said basically. Like, there's pressure for him to do that.
Oh yeah, I mean, they got shareholders to respond to, so they're probably like, get him out of here.
Yeah, get him out of here. Well, cool. Well, I guess that'll wrap that story up. I guess let's talk about Monarch a little bit real quick before we jump into
before we get too far.
The show.
Yeah, absolutely. So in case you didn't know, Monarch Wallet and Token, they are a sponsor of the show. It is a complete crypto solution, a crypto-driven ecosystem that gives you all the power to control all the aspects of your financial kingdom right from your hand. The Monarch Wallet, it's the only app to offer the amount of utility, functionality, security, capability all in one place for you, the user, to easily manage all aspects of your digital asset and financial life. To learn more, check out monarchtoken.io today. It's a good wallet. We said before, when we were down there at the podcast conference, we were using it to trade funds.
Yeah. And you know what? So that's it. That's a good time, because what we're going to be talking about is basically a video that I did this week and some things that I learned from that in terms of what people think about Bitcoin. Okay. And, when I did this video, basically what we did is we took $5 in cash, $10 in either a Starbucks or Walmart gift card, and $15 in Bitcoin. And we asked random strangers which one would they rather have. So obviously the Bitcoin is worth 3 times.
Give me the $5.
Is that what you want?
Oh God, no. Come on, man. I would take the crypto all day.
Yeah, you better take the crypto.
Stacking sets. I'm just saying, and it brings up your point about, them wanting something that's tangible.
Yeah. Yeah, some people definitely wanted that tangible. Now, the one guy said, I can touch the cash. I can feel it. I like it. And I said, here, touch the gift card. You can feel it too.
I saw that one. That was funny.
Yeah, there's something about cash that people just have like there's this idea that cash will buy you anything. Like, you go up to a car dealership and they're like, yeah, best price we can do is like $24,000. And you're like, yeah, but I got $24,000 in cash. What kind of deal can I get? And they're like, 24,000? Like, doesn't matter how you pay it, it's going to be the same price, I think that used to be a bigger factor than it is now, or whatever. But there is this idea, like, if you're trying to do something on Craigslist, it's the same thing. Like, somebody calls you and you're like trying to sell like a camera for $100, and they call you and they're like, yeah, I could get that camera from you $75, but I got cash.
People are so cheap on Craigslist.
It's ridiculous. And all of those sites, like, what are the other ones? There's a couple others that are like Craigslist, 5 miles. And I can't remember the one that I tried to use before. Like, I put a camera on there for $100, so it's worth $300. And literally like 25 people wanted it, but nobody wanted to pay over $75 for it. I'm like, it's a $300 camera,
Like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man. I've sold some stuff for crypto. You know, they got that little checkbox on Craigslist if you if you accept cryptocurrency. So I sold some homebrew stuff with it once.
Oh, nice.
Got some. I think I got Litecoin.
Is your body on the list?
It's on that. What was that section called?
The single section.
Yeah, no, but there was wasn't there a thing for it? Misconnections. That was funny. Did you ever read those?
Yeah. I did actually. Yeah.
Yeah, the Misconnections were funny to read. I actually know a buddy he was a comedy writer out in LA, and they did a pitch. They pitched a show based on that, and I don't think it got picked up, so it's a bad story. But I mean, that's a missed connection right there. But
yeah. So, anyways, yeah, people are always thinking like cash is like king. You know, cash is king, but it's not really the case anymore. I mean, everybody can accept a credit card now with a Square reader. Like, you just go to the store, you get an app. And boom, you can accept it, you know? Yeah. So it's not like we're dealing in, you know, the olden days where, you know, there weren't other ways for a normal person to accept money outside of cash, you know? So that was one thing that we saw. That was very, very, very interesting. But there's a lot of other stuff that we saw when we did that video. And one of the things that was really surprising to me was, you know, we asked everybody, we were like, you know, what is Bitcoin? And almost every person knew what it was. I thought that was very interesting. There wasn't one person that we talked to that said, I don't know what that is. Like if we said cryptocurrency, they'd be like, I don't know anything. But I said, Bitcoin, do you know about Bitcoin? They would be like, oh yeah, I've heard of it. I don't really know what it is, but it's like a digital internet currency. And it's like, people aren't as stupid, I think, as we think they are outside of crypto.
Well, I mean, it's good to know that they've heard of it. I mean, we got a long way to go to let people know that they can transact with it and use, you know, not only Bitcoin, but crypto. I'm not a maximalist, so yeah. Although maybe we should be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Maybe we should be. We're in too deep though. That's what I tell people. I'm in too deep to go the maximalist route.
Yeah,
now, but
absolutely.
The maximalism is like, I don't know. It gets way too tribal for me sometimes.
It's such a turnoff.
Yeah, it is. So, but you know, the thing about it is that almost all of them, like, they know what it is, but the number one thing that they said when I asked, like, explain it, is it's an untraceable currency. What do you think about that?
Well, that's funny that you would say that, you know, if they know that it's an untraceable currency, I mean, why would you not take that versus cash? Because basically, I mean, you probably, for most people, I mean, you carry cash so that you can do things that, you know, you don't want other people to know you're doing. Like, I don't know, you carry cash. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Say you're diabetic and you can't. Your wife's going to check your credit card statement. Said, "Hey, you went to the ice cream shop. You know, you shouldn't be eating the ice cream." No.
I went to the ice cream shop. Never mind. Sorry.
No. Please go ahead. I mean, you got a great singing voice there.
Radio voice, great. I've got a great radio voice when I want to turn it on.
Well, that new mic does sound really good.
It does. Yeah, it does. When you get a new mic like this one and you sound like even better than you already sound, it might just turn into the J Chain Show.
Watch out. We're going to start calling the group the Chain Gang. Remember that.
The Chain Gang, son. But yeah, in all seriousness, though, here's the issue, though. Bitcoin is traceable.
Well, yeah, it is traceable. I mean, I think you're more anonymous than with a credit card transaction.
For sure.
I think that cash is not traceable. I mean, to some regards, obviously, there's cameras and surveillance and all that stuff that can trace to a transaction, but
yeah, but the cash itself is not traceable. You know, sure. Like if they knew where you were at a certain time, like, yeah, they could, you know, figure that out with a camera. But if they didn't know who you were, it's just like KYC. Like, there's no KYC with cash. You know,
well, that's a good point.
Yeah, there's no KYC with cash. So, like, they can't look up transactions on your credit card, or there's no way to look up transactions with cash, other than to say, hey, Walmart, we think this guy bought this at this time. Can you pull this up on all your registers and see if we see him? Like, that's the long and the short of it. However, you know, because here's what a lot of people said. I did a video recently called The Biggest Myth of Bitcoin, which I talked about that Bitcoin is traceable. The myth is that Bitcoin is untraceable. And so a lot of people responded. They said, no. The biggest myth people have about Bitcoin is that you know, people use it only to buy stuff that they shouldn't. I said, well, that's the result of believing the first myth. They believe that Bitcoin is untraceable. Therefore, it makes sense for people to use it for illicit activities.
Yeah, I wonder why people think that it's untraceable, though. I mean, there's no marketing, obviously, that goes into it. It's all kind of just word of mouth and learning and being exposed to it. But
well, it's because it was untraceable at one time.
Yeah. Okay.
So Bitcoin. This is this is a transition here. Okay. At one time, as early or as late as 2017, even Chainalysis put together a report, which is Chainalysis is a company that tries to track down bad Bitcoin addresses that do illegal stuff, like not like buy pot on the internet if you live in North Carolina, but more like human trafficking and, drug smuggling, money laundering, all those things that are, really serious crimes, not like buying some freaking mushrooms because you want to go see a freaking alien. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. Okay. Okay. Nothing like that. I'm talking about real bad stuff. So Chainalysis and CipherTrace are two companies that tried to look those up and try to figure those out, right? Well, Chainalysis put out a report and said that in 2017, as late as 2017, up to 44% of actual Bitcoin transactions, non-trading transactions, were used to buy illegal goods.
What was the percentage?
44% of transactions. Now, that number over the last year, some put that estimate down to about 1%.
Dang.
Yeah. So in 2 years, we go from 44% to 1%. Like, that really, to me, speaks about a couple things. Number one, it speaks like, hey, we're actually getting adoption and traction across the world. But the bigger thing is, the reason it's dropped is because Bitcoin has become traceable. Now, people say, like, what is the the reason that Bitcoin is traceable? Like, what has happened to it? Well, nothing has happened to Bitcoin. There's been some development on it, but it's not Bitcoin itself that's become traceable. It's that investigators and Chainalysis and CipherTrace have actually figured out a way to track it through exchanges that use KYC. So let me ask you this question. How many Bitcoin addresses do you think there are out there that actually hold some amount of Bitcoin? If you were to put a guess on it.
If I was going to put a guess
Spoiler alert,
on it,
I know all these answers.
Oh, dude, I'm going to just smash you with a nerd alert then.
Nerd alert.
Nerd alert. Let's play hot and cold. 1 million. Okay.
Well, hot and cold just means you're not close, right? Cold, You're not close.
100,000.
It's much higher. You're going the wrong direction.
Oh, 5 million.
Higher.
20 million.
Higher.
50 million.
Lower.
35 million.
Lower.
27 million.
That's it.
Dang.
Dang, son, you good at this game.
Oh, man, I'm like a psychic.
God, you a baller, son. Now, let's do this. Let's not do high or cold. I just wanted you to throw out a number. There's 27 million Bitcoin addresses that actually hold Bitcoin. How many total Bitcoin addresses are out there?
Well, I feel like this is
Mr.
like some
Prophet,
kind of...
Mr. Prophet. Let's hear it, Mr. Prophet, Mr. Psychic, Mr. J. Chain Zeopatra.
Let me...
Miss Cleo.
Let me...
Call J. Chains now for your free market reading.
Don't murder fat man. I'm going to say... Man.
Come on, Llama, spit it out.
300 million.
You're relatively close. 460 million.
Okay.
So 460 million. Now, on Coinbase, I'm going to stop playing the guessing game and just give you some numbers. On Coinbase, there's 13 million users, right? You got to figure out of that 13 million users that Coinbase has, like there's got to at least be a few million active Bitcoin addresses on Coinbase. When you think that would be pretty safe to say?
I would definitely say that'd be safe to say. I mean,
not more.
Well, I feel like if I were to guess, a lot of those addresses, because there's so many more that don't have it, are the result of scam bots just creating addresses and trying to scoop up airdrops and all that.
That along with people, creating a wallet address and then pulling all their Bitcoin out of it and then not going back there. Like a lot of older addresses, like Mt. Gox wallets. I'm sure those are counted in that,
It's
things like
that. Like turn and burn them, like people flipping wallets.
Cryptopia, so that's why I think there's a lot of those dead exchanges that, those Bitcoin addresses are probably added in on that. And I think Bitcoin or Coinbase at some point changed their format of their Bitcoin addresses, I think. So who knows how many, but let's just say safely, there's a few million users on Coinbase alone that own Bitcoin. Okay. So here's how this works. Coinbase does KYC, know your customer. So they have all of the information on, we're probably talking about at least 1/9 of all active Bitcoin addresses, right? That means that anyone who sends money to that address or anyone who receives Bitcoin from one of those addresses is now added to like the giant map of Bitcoin addresses, right? So if the FBI or CIA, if they know, okay, Coinbase told us that this person's address, okay, we know goes to John Smith, okay? Well, they know that those other two addresses, the ones that it's being sent to and the one it's being received from, they know, hey, those guys did business with John Smith. And they can basically kind of follow that web of transactions. It's like this. We used to do these things in elementary school. Like, this is going to shock you guys. This is going to really surprise you guys. You guys are going to be completely shocked. We're
sitting on the edge of our seats waiting.
I was in the gifted program in elementary school. I mean, who would have thought? Me,
Nerd
little
alert.
old humble me, nerd alert. So we used to, one day a week, we go to our little nerd class and we would do these things called brain teasers. They were basically like, these charts that had rows horizontally and rows vertically. And you had to try to figure out like who the one mystery person was that did X, Y, or Z. And it would just give you like 3 clues, but there'd be like 20 people on the list, 20 different places, whatever. And you would basically, through those few clues, you would be able to eliminate a few people. And every time you would do that, it would get smaller and smaller until you figure out like, okay, this is the person. It's complicated. It's very difficult. That's why there's whole companies designed to try to figure out what these Bitcoin addresses are and who they belong to. But it is traceable, 100%. And yet people still believe that Bitcoin is this currency that people are using on the dark web to buy all kinds of bad stuff with because it's untraceable. And I think that's where it's our duty, it's our job, right? It's your job, it's my job. And I've been feeling this real pressure and weight over the last, I'd say, couple months of like, we've been in this for a while now. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be doing more as people in this space. And if you know people that are, interested in cryptocurrency, like, tell them about it, but make sure you correct things, incorrect, perceptions that they have about Bitcoin. Like, that's where the education comes in. If somebody says, oh, people just use that to buy stuff on the dark web, like, correct them. Say, actually, a ton more cash transactions are used to buy stuff that's illegal, and they're not traceable. Bitcoin is.
I mean, that's how you quiet the haters. I'm just kidding. They're not haters. They're just uneducated. But yeah, I mean, we've been talking about that. I mean, just going out there, it's that snowball effect, just set someone straight on what it is, what it's about, and then from there, they'll get it. People will start to get it. I mean, you see something like, oh man, it was like some game show the other night. I was walking by, my wife was watching TV, and it was one of the questions was about Bitcoin, like, oh, wow. Like it's on, and that was like a major network game show, like at primetime or whatever. So like, it's getting there. I think that we've probably got some allies within, the big advertising and media companies. So hopefully that helps out. Hopefully there'll be a good movie. I think there was that one movie that was just terrible, right? That came out like a half a year ago or something.
It's funny because I think it was called Crypto. Something. I got a friend that is like, I mean, we've known them they're like a couple friend that me and my wife have, she went to school with one of them, and then I know the guy through some other random connections. And so we hang out with them maybe once every couple years or whatever. And so, this is the first time we've hung out since I've been, full-time on the crypto gig. And I went over there and he said, yeah, man, like I've really been trying to learn more about this crypto stuff. Like I was looking at some of your videos, and dude, last night I on pay-per-view, I got that movie Crypto. Like it's really fascinating, really cool. It's like, no,
just don't watch it.
Yeah. I was like, listen, that's totally wrong. That's not it. They just make it seem like exactly what we're talking about. Like it's all Russian mafia people behind Bitcoin and stuff like that. I mean, I do think there's obviously some organized crime tied to Bitcoin. Like, there's some of that. But there's
we've talked about that with like North Korea, Russia. Right. I mean, there have been some things happen like that. But I mean, for the most part, Monarch, they got Monarch Pay. You can set up recurring payments. Just like
are you talking about setting up recurring payments for?
No, I'm just mean. No,
you could. If you got a hit list that long.
I don't want to do that.
I got some crypto podcasts on my hit list. I'm coming for you.
Coming for you, son.
Sons.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, it was definitely a very interesting, time. And I'm going to be doing more of those videos where I'm going to be looking at, kind of social experiments. I had this cool idea for one. I want to tell you this. So what I want to do, somebody kind of gave me an idea kind of like this, but what I want to do is kind of like prank videos with Bitcoin stuff. So what I would do is like kind of have a hidden mic, maybe a hidden camera, and walk up to people and say like, hey, like I'm really hungry. Like I don't have any cash on me. I can send you like, I'm just going to make a number up, like 0.002 Bitcoin if you'll just buy me some lunch. And I think that's $200. I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But whatever it is.
And see if people will take you up on that.
Yeah. Like something really crazy. Like they're giving up $200 for a $6 value meal and they don't realize it. What do you think about that idea? Do you think that would be kind of cool to do some videos like that?
I mean, it could be.
Yeah,
it could be. It's funny to think, like what's going to be their initial reaction. I think first you'll get is, well, how much is that worth?
Yeah.
Because most, if you're not in crypto, if you're just going up to random strangers, nobody's going to know how to translate that
yeah, exactly. That's the point. Or say like, 20,000 Satoshis or 200,000 Satoshis, whatever it works out to. I'd have to actually be looking at it. I always get so confused. It's 100 million.
100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. 100
million Satoshis. So $200 would mean 10 million, 2 million Satoshis would be $200, I believe. So I'd be like, I give you 2 million Satoshis and see what they say, First person to say yes, they get that $200.
That's good. And then you're done filming for the day.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one-stop shop, Then I just have to go find some people that I know don't know what a Satoshi is. Maybe people that don't even speak English, But wait. Satoshi is not just English, I guess. Gosh, I'm the idiot, not them. It's me.
Joke's on you, man.
Dang, joke's on me. I'm the idiot. I don't know my math. I don't have a good radio voice. I don't even know what the frick I'm doing here.
You do. You do. I'll give you a little. Come here, buddy. Come here.
That was nice, man. That was a nice hug, man. That was good, man.
You got it. Anything for my show partner.
Yeah, your partner. Anything for your partner, bro.
Anything for your partner.
Giddy up.
Man, you weird.
So weird, man. So weird. So, all right, guys. I guess that's pretty much it for today. You got anything else you want to throw in here, Chains?
No. Just if you're in Indianapolis and you're on a motorcycle, take some pictures and send it.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Tag us in it.
Just for fun.
Because we like motorcycles.
That's right. J Chains like motorcycles.
Yeah, I do.
We like motorcycles. Right. I'm still waiting until I go somewhere with J Chains holding on to his chest with my hands on the freaking motorcycle,
Yeah, you just
hop on the back of that bike.
Here you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop on the back of that, son. Drive me around.
Never.
That's not happening, guys. That would never happen. That would never happen. But what was that face? You just made a face like.
I just started laughing. I didn't want to laugh out loud.
All right. Oh, it's because of that microphone. You don't want to laugh in that microphone, son.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's why.
Hey, you're going to have a new microphone next week. This is going to be the cleanest podcast y'all have ever heard.
We got this shit knocking low.
That's all we got for today. But thank you to show sponsor Monarch Token. Definitely you guys check them out, monarchtoken.io. And we will, I hope, see you guys next week.
See you.